We've got a special guest with us. One all the way from Frederick, Maryland. Gary Winter's with us today. That's Robin's mom. And I told her she did a great job with her daughter. So it's great having you today. Lauren Riggins is also here today. But she just flew in from Greensboro, so it wasn't Birthdays, Mr. Jeff Rush. He stopped by and opened the door, had a grandson, and said, I'm here. So a man that's going to hold his grandson can't be but about 30 years old. So happy birthday. His birthday is today. And then Wednesday, Miss Mary Lou Banks. Where is she? Yeah, right there. Is it true you finally hit 30? 30, okay. And Mr. Ted Carrier. His birthday is Friday. And Ted, you're looking pretty spry for 32. Happy birthdays. That takes care of all the birthdays in August. So congratulations to all of you and our visitors. Okay, you've heard me mention briefly, but we're rolling now. We've got the new ministry coming up called Got Your Six. Okay? And that's gonna gonna be making a difference with our veterans and our first responders. It's highly needed, folks. As I posted yesterday on Facebook, the one common denominator is the men and women in that group come together because they chose to serve their country, serve their community, and the difference in their service is they're also saying, here I am, Lord, send me. Which means that you could actually lose your life, as we found out on December the 30th of this year. So anyway, that's getting ready to get started. We're going to be rolling with that this fall, so look forward to telling you more about that.
Do you know what day of the week they're going to meet?
Right now, with Wednesday being a church night, it might be a good time for, well, it's not going to be, I'll get with you. I'll get with you. Okay, Neil's got something really special here. It's a thank you to this class. You know, Jason came in and asking us if we would help out. Well, that was the aerial view of us.
Looks like a beehive.
Yeah, right. That or a bunch of ants.
Now, I believe that I'm not sure this is all of us because we're moving way too fast. Now, Neil, I'm going to skip down right quick, and I'm just going to go ahead since we showed that. We got to do that again in just an hour or two.
We get to do that.
Because we have our luncheon. And that looks great, except there was other people other than our class involved. What happened, we're trying to take down chairs and tables are coming out, and Jim and I were working the same section of the gym, and it felt like we were trying to cross Interstate 40 with chairs. You know, here's some people come here. We're not going to do that, okay? So here's the quick setup. Just like all the time, we're going to have 6 long tables at that end. Those are the food tables. We're going to do 4 lines. And then the tables and chairs. But We're not going to do that until we get the chairs out of the way. Because the chairs that we use are different than the ones up there. We got to get them out of the way. So once we get them at least on one side of the gym up and out of the way, then putting the tables and chairs out is going to go a lot smoother. Okay? Everything will be set up and ready for you to roll out. Hopefully. I'm going to check here in a minute. Hopefully. And but we're going to have a great time. If you're visiting with us, we do these luncheons once a quarter after worship, and it's a great time. The main reason we do it is get to know people. So if you're visiting, that's one reason we do it, so we can get to know you. And I want to challenge every member in here. You take and make a great effort to meet somebody new before you leave. Okay? Now, you may not eat at the same table, but make a conscious effort to get up and meet somebody new. Introduce yourself. Because if we don't, guess what? We're just an ordinary Sunday school class. But when we make an effort to get to know people and become friends, then we become family. That's what it's all about, folks. So yes, Sharon, I saw that hand.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that we've got so many people bringing out food. So just once all the food's out on the table, make sure your dish is there and that everything that goes with it is there. Okay? You'll just check and make sure. Okay?
Thank you, Sharon. And thanks for all you do. People, there's so many people that do things behind the scenes, okay, that you don't ever know about. That lady, her husband right now is over in the kitchen. Who's Steve? I'm not going to tell him what you said. Not until I get done making these announcements. Okay. Emily. Where's Emily? Emily Chow, where you at? I saw you. There she is. She contacted us yesterday. She has a video about Israel and the U.S. and support. Because of time, we can't do that this morning. But I do want to make everyone aware, we need to be praying for Israel. And we need to be praying for this country. Okay? I don't have to go into details there, and we won't, but pray for this country and Israel. She's going to get Cheryl the link. Cheryl's going to send that link out so you can watch that video right there at your home. So, all right, Miss Ann Purdue, do it up.
Thank you. Wow, after that, it's kind of hard to even do an announcement, but I just wanted to do two things. One, I want to just give you an update on the balloon rides. It is September 28th between 4 and 7. I sent out a link to all the single ladies. I sent out a link to all the singles so that they would know exactly where to go online and block their tickets. So please do that. And then I'm not purchasing the tickets. It's between 4 and 7. So you'll have to do it. Now they told me initially it's going to be 2 weeks out. Then they told me it's probably going to be 1 week out. And then they told Cindy when she contacted them they're going to do it the day before. So start looking about 2 weeks out, because you can just show up and there's only a select number and they'll be gone quickly. So just start looking quickly if you will. The other thing is that I also want to announce, and I know we did this last year, many of the singles know this, but we have a gentleman who works with the single ladies on repair in their home. And that's a real gift. So I just wanted you to know that it's available. However, it is only for single women. It is for the single women in this class. There are a couple of women who are part of a different class who are in that, but very few, a select few. But please don't give their name out, this gentleman's name out, to anyone, because it is a gift. There's no charge for it unless he has to get a part. So it's a really precious gift for the single. So if we abuse it, we may not have. And he told me not to say anything to me. So I've got to protect it. So I just want him to be, not to be abused. So just keep that in mind that it is for us. It's a gift and we love it. And thank that person.
I don't know if y'all just witnessed Rosemary coming in, and she didn't have a seat. I said, take that seat. And she said, no, what's your seat? I said, no, you take that seat. She sat down. If I'd have done that at my house and told my wife, take that seat, I'd have been the one sitting down. I'll tell you that. Okay. Kevin, you're up.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Two quick things. One thing for the group that's going with us to Pennsylvania, 7 weeks and 4 days. And we'll be sending out the itinerary. But just think about this. The buses are gonna be here at 5:30 that Thursday morning. Y'all need some cheese in that wine. I want to know. And we're gonna leave at 6. Because we're going to stop on the way up, have lunch, but our first stop is Gettysburg. We're going to spend 2 hours in Gettysburg. We're going to have tour guides there and stuff. So we got to leave at 6. So, put your big boy pants, your big girl pants on, get up.
Is there a shower on the bus?
There is a toilet. You can do with it whatever you want. Last year, Kim and I, we've done this several years now, and last year a few couples went up. We're going to be doing something this year in Boone, North Carolina. It's December 16th, Operation Christmas Child. When those boxes, and we're not talking about the shoe boxes here yet. We're talking about the shoe boxes come in from all churches and different organizations all over the country, and they go to distribution centers to be gone through, repackaged, make sure there's no liquids and chocolate, get it all chocolate to Jack. But, we just make sure that it's right and take all the funds out and put it in the right place and all that stuff. Anyway, they have, in Boone, we got an opportunity for 50 people to go up, and it's December 16th, and it's going to be from the two shifts that we're going to work is either 1 to 5 or 2 to 6, and you get like a 5-10 minute break. This says 15. I don't remember being that long. Anyway, it's a large warehouse. You got to put it in. It's a large warehouse. I think it's about 65 degrees because you're working hard. It's hard work. There's 8 people on the table. You're licking and sticking and going through these boxes, and it's a lot of work.
Licking?
It's hard.
I ain't licking nothing.
That makes sense. So it's fast-paced in terms of every 5 minutes, an hour, about 5 minutes, I'll show a video of a kid receiving one of these boxes somewhere, in the world. We're going to ask Cheryl to put my email on the things she sends out today. You listen, Cheryl? You got that? We can only take, it's going to be 2 groups of 25, and we can only take 50 because normally when they say it's available, you got to call right there, and it's like a lottery to get there. So if you're going, if you want to go, we're going to take the first 50 by email. Things are timestamped, so if I pass it around a sign-up sheet, 50 people, this half couldn't go, or you know what I'm saying? So, but be serious about it if you want to go, because you have to give your phone number, your email, and then if something happens, I can't go. Well, it's a lot of headache to contact this person, say, well, this person can't go, but this person can go, and just if you're serious about it, we want you to sign up. What am I not saying, Dan?
Is Is there transportation?
It's hard fun.
Yeah, you have to talk to your husband. Oh, that's a good question. It's two shifts, and some of us will, I won't stay at there's a courtyard Marriott up there, and after the shift, probably have dinner and come back the next morning. But if you want to just go up and work and then come back the same day, that's your choice. But no, there's no transportation other than whatever you want to do. Okay? Thank you. Now, one more announcement. Chris Klein's going to be here in a minute. And he's going to talk about something.
Thank y'all for letting me jump in. I'll be real quick. Today, when you go into service, if you'll grab the info guide, on the back it says volunteers needed for Wild Game Dinner, and there's a QR code. If any of you don't have smartphones, come see me. I'll help you with it. But all you do is open your camera on your phone and click on it, and it'll open up a link. And what this is an opportunity to serve for our largest men's outreach that our church does all year. This is our 24th year. It's called our Men's Wild Game Dinner. For those of you who've never been here, we have probably 1,000 men to 1,200 men over Monday night and Tuesday night, September 9th and 10th. We're going to feed them. They're going to have a message delivered to them and giving them an opportunity to come to know the Lord. These are men that typically would not go to church because it's church. These are hunters, fishermen, guys that aren't churched. They're your buddies. And we want you guys to, not to say hunters, that came out wrong. We're sold out for tickets, so you don't have to worry about getting more people here. So Ron's done his part, but it's my obligation to get volunteers, which is a tough ask. On Saturday, September the 7th, we're going to be here all day for men and women, and we're going to do a lot of the food prep, a lot of the things that are going to be required hands-on. We're going to be rolling meatballs. We're going to be, there's all kinds of cutting up stuff, onions, peppers, all those things. We need a lot of people. So if you can sign up to come on that Saturday, there's an opportunity there. On Monday, we start cooking, and I'll be here all day Monday until Monday night at 6 o'clock when we start serving. Repeat, cook all day Tuesday until 6 o'clock serving. So if you don't like to handle wild things or touch or anything like that, you can come Monday night and serve at a table. And all you'll say is, would you like green beans? Would you like deer venison? Would you like whatever? So serve you meat, sir? Yeah, serve you meat, please. If you remember you don't have to have any experience. We just need hands and smiles. And again, there's going to be 6 tables, and we're going to need probably 10 to 12 ladies at each table for both nights. So it shouldn't be but about 2.5 to 3 hours max. And then you can go do whatever you need to do that night. But we really would appreciate you going in and signing up. This is our best way to get a head count to keep accuracy, so we don't have to send clipboards around. There's an opportunity there for desserts. We're asking for all you good cooks. The men really like homemade desserts. We get store-bought Food Line cookies anytime. It's what I'm told. So we'd appreciate you get grandma's recipes, cakes, brownies, homemade cookies, those type things. We try to limit the refrigerated things just because we don't have space. So it's a big ask because it's a big event. So we want to make this the best we've done ever, but it's going to require classes like yours and mine and everybody to kind of step up. My name's Chris, and I'll get Kevin to share my cell number, so you can write down if you have any additional questions, or you say, hey, I don't have a smartphone, but I'm willing to sign up. I'll get you signed up on mine, and yes, ma'am.
If we've already signed up to work, we don't have to do that.
You do. Where did you sign up to work?
Lenora sent out an email to me.
Yeah, so that's the same link. So yeah, if you got Lenore's link, you should click here. You've already signed up. Yeah, we just didn't want 4 different ways to sign up, so it's confused. So if you've already sent out through the church-wide one, thank you. Any questions? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Desserts have to be individually wrapped.
So we would appreciate that if you have time to do that. So if you're going to do brownies, yeah, if you can cut them up into not bite size because these are men. We won't.
Chocolate needs to be bigger.
If you're able to do a cake or pound cake or something like that, yeah, if you're able just to slice them and wrap them up individually in clear saran wrap or whatever so we can see what it is, that would be very helpful too. If it's in foil, we don't know what we're sitting on the plate. And I'm a taste tester, so I don't need to taste everything. But again, we really appreciate this class. Matt's going to be cooking for us. He's going to do a phenomenal job. Ron's done his part. He's got the place sold out. So a lot of pressure falls on me now to recruit. So I would appreciate anything you guys can give us, an hour or two or the day. We'll take it. All right. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
I sure wished I was part of a church that had opportunities to serve. Neil came in and handed this to me this morning. That's the itinerary for announcements. Hallelujah. Thank you, Neil. This brain, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with all this. So, let's get to the good part. Let's pray and get Jack up here. Father, as we come to you, we praise you and thank you for this opportunity to be with one another and to hear your word proclaimed this morning. We thank you for each individual here, their families, and we just pray that they'll be blessed by the time that they're with us. We thank you now and give you honor and glory. In Christ's name we do pray. Amen.
As we get older, sometimes we do things with unintended consequences.
You don't have to get older to do that.
Well, maybe not. It's frozen.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's intended.
Oh, wow.
Well, I guess we'll move on to your slides.
Good try.
Are you done?
I'm done. It's done, evidently.
That's what happened. All right.
Yeah.
You guys were awesome last week with setting up. Let me just tell you, Jason went out of his way to brag about you guys. Did they mention how quick that gym was broken down and set back up? 27 minutes. Jordan, who's a perfectionist. Now he's head of maintenance and oversees the. He's a perfectionist, isn't he, Karen? No, yeah, is he? Okay. He came up to me and went, "I cannot believe y'all guys did this that well in 27 minutes." So we don't set the whole gym this today, right? How much, Sharon? Half? About half. So we're going to time you. You got 14 minutes. We'll get it out. So it'll be awesome. All right, let's keep going. We've been talking about, and we're going to do a rapid review because we stopped kind of in the middle of this conversation or discussion. If I just picked up where we were, one, if you weren't here, you would be lost, and two, if you were here and your memory's not good, you'll be lost, okay? So, the topic is this. We're reading Paul, and Paul is basically saying, we're going to review some verses very quickly. He's got this attitude, this mindset that says, hey, I'm going to go on and die and go to heaven. And when we hear the word die or death, we don't have the same response necessarily, do we? We do everything we can to avoid that. So we're looking at how do you get that attitude? Was Paul a depressed human that's just struggling with life, and life is tough, and he's just ready to go on? Is that Paul's situation? Why do you say no? How do you know that? Right. In 104 verses, 16 of them in Philippians, he'll use the word joy or rejoice, and we go to Galatians 5, and the fruit of the Spirit, and the second one is joy. And he's not a depressed person who says, I just want to die. No. He, for some reason, and we're going to look at that, really desires to go to heaven. But what's his motivation? Why does he say that? And we're going to look at that and how does that apply to our life. So, let's rapidly go through some verses. We looked at 2 Corinthians 5:8, because I got to prove to you what I just said. Yes, we are fully confident. We would rather be away from these earthly bodies, for then we'll be where? Home with the Lord. He prefers it. Philippians. For to me, living means living for Christ, and dying is even.
Put myself off your shirt.
Oh, you don't want to serve?
Yeah, that's good. You can hear the noise
Oh,
of it.
okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Neil put it on. Which is very weird every Sunday morning when Neil is this close to me. Dude, you're in my space, okay? You're what?
His space is above you about a foot.
Yeah, he's like going with the little kid. Dude. So here's my question, and we asked it last week. Paul is, I just said, he'd rather be at home with the Lord, dying's even better. Well, what makes him the expert on that? He's been there. He's had a round trip ticket to heaven and back. Well, how do you know that? Well, it tells us in the next verse, okay? 2 Corinthians says, I was called up to the third heaven 14 years ago. Whether I was in the body or out of the body, I don't know. Only God knows that. Yes, only God knows whether I was in the body or outside my body. But I do know that I was called up to paradise and heard things so astounding that it cannot be expressed in words. Things that no human is allowed to tell. Wow. So just a little bit, he talks about heaven. What are some of the things he says? It's what? It's what? He calls it paradise. What else?
Astounding.
It's astounding. What else? Innocent. Can't explain it. And if I could explain it, I'm not allowed to. Okay? So whatever it was absolutely so amazing that what he experienced there, that he says, you know what? I'm looking forward to dying, because that will get me there. So if we understood that better and had that perspective, if we had that same opportunity to spend a little time in heaven and come back, how would our perspective change? It would be like Paul's. It would be like Paul's. So that's how he can say it. But for us, we're not there yet. Okay? We're here. And so what do we do in the meantime? Well, Colossians 3:2 says, think about the things of heaven, not the things of the earth. And we talked about, okay, we're supposed to keep our mind set on things that are above, not things on earth. Well, my question is, what things? Is it the tangible things like streets of gold and pearly gates, and are those the things we're supposed to be thinking about? No. And why not?
Because it's a spiritual life that we're called to, and not the tangible physical life that we're living.
Exactly right. Listen, think about all those things. Remember, we did quite a long study about heaven. It was really a lot of fun. But all those things are incredible, and it gives us something to look forward to. But when we're going through a tough circumstance, do those thoughts really get you through them? They really don't. They're nice. They give you a little bit of hope and something to look forward to. But it really doesn't. And so the question is, what are those things that we're to think about that will help us get through the challenges we're going through now? Colossians 3:1. I just read 3:2. Let's look at 3:1. 3:1 tells us, since you have been raised to a new life in Christ, set your sights on the realities of heaven, What's the next part? That's the key.
That's it.
Where Christ sits in a place of honor at God's right hand. Where's Christ seated? How would that make a difference? When we're going through difficult circumstances and we set our minds on things above, which is setting our minds on Christ who's sitting on his throne, how would that help you in your circumstances?
All power and authority.
All power and authority.
Interceding for us.
He's interceding for us. Ultimately, he's in control.
That's right.
He's in control. I was talking to a guy this week, and he was talking about life, and he's going through some difficult times, and then he says, you know what though, I really shouldn't be complaining because it's, you know, people got a lot worse situations, and you've heard that. And I said, listen, that's a great perspective, but listen, Jesus, who's in control of everything, cares about your little stuff too. And I use the analogy when you have a little baby, and the little baby's upset over something, well, we would say, well, that's silly. You shouldn't be upset about, you know, dropping a cookie or a toy. They get all upset. What does a good parent do when a baby or grandparent does when a child is upset over something silly? Do we go, well, that's just silly, suck it up anyway? Okay? What do? You go to them and you care about whatever's concerning them. Even though it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal to you because why? Baby's big, that's right. So and I told the guy, your problem, your concerns, the Lord's right there with you. He's not telling you to, you know, get over it, quit having a pity party. He's leaning into you, and just like a parent would with the baby, he wants to comfort and meet your needs at that point. He's ultimately in control. So, we're in the political season. We're not going to talk about it, please, okay? But we're in the political season. And if you're kind of watching this a little bit, I think most people are. And I think we should be. This is our country. God's blessed us with it. You're highly offended, aren't you?
Keep going.
This is really awkward. Let me just tell you.
Yeah, for me.
Well, thank you. That was driving me crazy.
I noticed. And that's a short drive.
My mind is rolling, but I'm gonna hold back here.
Things of above.
Things are above. And he's gonna say, well, I'm above you. And not me. He uses the word short a lot. Are we offended when 6-7 says short a lot? Okay. Anyway, so the political season's going on. Do not take this the wrong way. I think we should be interested. I think we should be, understand the issues and the candidates, and I think we should vote based on our biblical viewpoints and all that. So we're not going to go down this road, okay? But here's the conversation that we were having a lot lately. If that other person gets in, oh my. And listen, I've said this, okay? Oh my, it is going to be so bad because this. And so I caught myself saying that a little bit. I'm going, oh boy, yeah, such and such gets in. I don't know, boy, it's good. If my person would get in.
You say guy, that's fine.
Get in. Hey, if my person gets in, oh, we're going to be okay. It's going to be just fine, okay? There's a problem with that. Put up Jeremiah 17, 5-8. I love this passage. And I need this passage often. Now, we're talking about being anxious and politically and all that stuff. But it applies everywhere. Thus says the Lord, cursed is the man. Time out. You want to curse yourself?
Woe be to you.
Woe to you. This is how you curse yourself. Cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose hearts depart from the Lord. Someone paraphrase that for me.
Put your trust in the Lord and leave it there.
That's right. Do not, in your personal life or political or anything else, it is important. And that we don't say, if that person comes through, if that person gets elected, if that person will just help me out in this area, or even to the point of if I put my trust in myself, I'm cursing myself. What's it going to be like? For he shall be like a shrub in the desert, shall not see when good comes, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, and the salt land which is not inhabited. We're not going to break this thing down. But that's a person who trusts in somebody else, including themselves. Not good. Well, how about the guy who trusts in the Lord, where it needs to be? Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord. No, we like being blessed. So we got a choice. We can either be cursed or we can be blessed. Let's go with option 2. That's a good one, okay? Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose hope is in the Lord. Hope is also means confident. Hope is not like we use hope a lot. Like, I'm not certain I hope worth noting. Hope here means I'm confident, okay? Verse 8, for he shall be like, I love this passage. I would encourage you to memorize this passage when you're stressed and struggling for situations. This is awesome. And this is a fun verse to take and break down. We've done it, we're not going to do it this morning. For he shall be like a tree planted by the water, which spreads out its roots by the river and will not, what? Fear when the heat comes. What's the heat in your life? Okay? Oh, man's right. But its leaf, this is so much fun if you break this. Its leaf will be green and will not be anxious in the year of a what? Nor will cease from yielding fruit. That's where we go. Is when our confidence in the Lord, we trust in the Lord, not man, not ourselves. We're focusing on them. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. We got to put forth a strong effort that it's the Lord's going to come through and not us. By the way, let me give a plug for something. We went to go see the movie last night, The Forge. Has anyone seen it?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
It's awesome. Go see it if you haven't seen it yet. Anyway, little plug there. So here's where we are. Our thoughts are supposed to be on the Lord. That's why I brought this up. We trust in Him. So set your mind on things above. That's where the Lord is. Okay? He's with us in spirit now, but He's in heaven on the throne. How? Physically. So we're with Him, or He's with us in spirit now, but then we're going to be with Him how? In spirit and in truth and in we'll be able to see Him. We'll be able to touch Him. He'll hug us, I believe. I think He'll be constantly with us, drawn out. We won't go there. But He's constantly with us now. He'll be constantly with us in heaven as well. Okay? That's where we set our minds on. That's what makes a difference. So Paul's desire to go to heaven wasn't to go see all the gates of pearl and the streets of gold and all that stuff is pretty good. His desire was what?
To be like Christ.
Yeah, go back to Philippians 1:23. I long to go and be how? Christ is a reason we should desire heaven, not all the other stuff. Other stuff is extra stuff. Just the way? It's because of Him we get to enjoy all that. But He's the main event. He's the reason we should want to go there. 2 Corinthians 5:8 again says it again. Yes, we're fully confident we would rather be away from these old bodies, but then we will be at home where? With the Lord. So let's do a little checkup. I do this every once in a while. And I do it to myself every once in a while. But here's your choices. You can go to heaven, and heaven has all the best of the best of the best food. If you're into sports, He's got the best sports. If you're into literature, He's got the best books. The temperature is awesome. There's no humidity. It's just great. Okay? And it has everything we would love to have. And here's your choice. But Jesus is not there. Option B. Read a commercial. Read a commercial that old guy sitting there and go, well, option A, you spend the rest of your life with your wife, or B. B! B in this choice is you can live eternity in a small apartment, high humidity, it's hot. You have to work 12 hours a day in hot, tough, physical labor. You got enough food, but just enough to keep you alive. It's not that good. But in this case, Jesus is your constant companion. Would you choose A for all the comforts and all the cool stuff without Christ? Or would we choose B? That's very uncomfortable when we're with Christ. Don't answer out loud, because you'll probably lie. No. But is that not a good question to ask ourselves? Now, I believe we choose B. If you really think about it, you go, well, okay, that's nice to say. Why do you think I'll choose B? Let's take Jesus out of the picture, out of the equation, and let's add in your mind someone that you love dearly. You would choose to go live in an uncomfortable situation to be with that loved one. Then you live someplace where it's great without. See how a relationship with Christ should be. That's what that's what he desires. So Paul is saying, I want to go to heaven for Jesus' sake, not all the other stuff, which is extra good, wonderful things. So we often will say things like this. And I'm so ready for heaven. I am so ready for the rapture. If you're a pre-trib believer, we're ready to roll. If my person doesn't win the election, I'm going to change my position on that. Okay? It's not political. But we say those things, you know, and that's good. That is not bad. That's a good thing to say. Matter of fact, we're instructed to encourage each other about Christ coming. And you want to get me fired up a little bit, let's talk about prophecy and current events. It's exciting. Now, not all of you show emotions the way some of us express our emotions. That's okay, God's personality. I remember we were kids and we grew up on I call it a small lake. Cheryl's from the country, says that's a pine. She wins. And it was a tri-level home. Jimmy's bedroom is on the lower floor. Okay, it's not a basement, but it's the lower floor. And that's the den also down. That's where we would hang out and watch TV with the family. And so we're all down there watching TV. Jimmy comes out of his bedroom, sits down, watches TV with us. So it goes on for a while, and there's a commercial break. Jimmy turns around, very calmly goes, I think there's a snake in my room. Snake! Jimmy's just very calm, cool, and collected. Isn't he, Susan? He is. Aren't you glad? Yeah. He's just very calm, cool, and select, and that's awesome. I think it's great. We got 3 children. All 3 are very quiet children. Do you know why Cheryl says they're quiet? Because I talk so much, they never learn how to do it. I don't know. 2 of them never show emotions. Hardly ever. You never know. Drives me nuts, okay? Because I want to know what you're thinking and feeling, and you know how that is. And they're like, shoo. Their coaches loved it. They said, man, when they were competing, they said, we love it because they could be rattled, and the other team would never know they're rattled So, Sabina, you know him well, is that true? Very calm. And that's how God's made some people. Let me give you a third. Let me show you a video of someone who's just like that. Can y'all see the screen okay? Okay.
It's not smoking. Hurry.
Listen. She said this toilet is smoking.
What you gotta say to that?
What would you do? What would you do if you walked in there? You know what you just did. And I watched some of you. Most of you are laughing, some of you are going. That would be Jimmy and that was Royce, okay? I thought it was pretty awesome. Here's my question for you. I asked their permission to share, okay? He's not here. He's in the kitchen working. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but anyway. So here's my question. Your motivation, if you say, man, I'm just ready for that rapid, I'm ready to go. That's awesome. But my question is, to me and to you, is what's your motivation? Is it to get out from the stress and pressure and the tough times of the world? And that's okay. But you know what I want mine to be? I'm ready for the rapture, so I can be face to face with Christ. That should be our motivation. And when we're not there, then we're focusing on what? The wrong stuff. It's all about Christ. And that's how Paul could say, I am more ready for heaven. And he wasn't saying it so he could escape all the problems. Okay? He wanted to go so he could be with Christ. And he's seen Christ sitting on the throne in heaven. Now the other cool thing is, I mentioned this a little bit, is not only we envision Christ on the throne, so he's in total control right now, but also the fact that we'll be with him. Companionship with him. All the other stuff don't matter, even if it's bad stuff, it's not going to. We're with Christ. And that's our motivation. Yeah, Carmen?
All of life is a challenge as to whether we're going to focus on self or whether we're going to focus on the Lord.
Yeah.
And whether or not we want to go to heaven, again, it's that same choice. Are we going to focus on ourselves, which has got some difficulties, or are we going to focus on the Lord?
That's right. Exactly. Listen, man, when I get my eyes on my problems and myself and hoping someone else is going to come through and take care of me, my anxiety is up. When I'm able to calm those down and get along with the Lord and get still and just focus on his word and who he is, peace is there. Peace in the pain. I thought of this morning. There can be peace in the pain and joy in the tough journey. Only because you were focused on Christ. Yes, sir.
We remember that Jesus came to give us life. And to your point, Carla, he makes the statement so profound that if you find your life, you will lose it.
That's right.
But if you lose your life for my sake, you will find it.
Yeah.
And that's really, give up this physical. I've got everything that you need.
That's right. And it's so short. And that's how you get through this. Okay. All right. So we're going to go back to the verses that we originally started talking about this real quick. And we're going to look at those two desires. And we're going to start breaking down these two desires real quick. Well, we've already done the second one. Philippians 1:22, but if I live, I can do more what? More fruitful work for Christ. So I really don't know which is better. I'm torn between two desires. I long to go and be with Christ, which would be far better for me. But for your sakes, it is better that I continue to live. Knowing this, I'm convinced I will remain alive so I can continue to help all of you grow and experience the joy of your faith. So Paul's convinced he's going to end up doing what?
Sticking around.
Keep living. And why? What was the reasons he gave?
To help others.
Yeah. Verse 22, yeah, that's the first one. I can do more fruitful work for Christ. So so the reason he's torn, he does want to live now, he wants to live out the rest of his life. We talked about last week. if this is your total lifespan and you're somewhere here, from this point on, shouldn't we say, I want to live for Christ from here on out? I don't know how long the runway is from here on, but man, I don't know about what I've done in the past, forget it. But from here on, I really want to live for Christ. I really want to have an intimacy with Him. I really want to live for Him. I really want to impact people. You go watch that movie, The Forge, and that's a great example of what we're talking about. So he says, I want to do more fruitful work for Christ. And then the second part was what? Who said it? What's the other reason he's going to stay around? To help people grow and experience the what? Joy of faith. What's that called? It's called discipleship. That made it really easy. He wants to take people from where they are, believers. He wants people to come to Christ, but he wants to take believers where they are now, invest in them, disciple them, and grow them where they can experience the joy of knowing Christ intimately. He wasn't looking for anything else. Yes, sir.
That is Chad's sermon today.
Is it really?
Yeah.
He's always talking. Is that why he calls me on Monday and says, I just wonder, what are you going to teach on Sunday? He does not want my opinion, believe me. Isn't it amazing how many times the things we talk about, we go in. The last 2 weeks, for those who go to 8 o'clock, last 2 weeks people walked up going, he just kind of gave his sermon. Okay? It's not me, I have no idea what he's talking on. Is that a coincidence?
No, it's the Spirit.
It's the Spirit. And why is the Spirit doing that?
Because he knows we're not going to listen to it the first time.
He said because the Spirit knows we won't listen the first time. So let me get that right. I am wasting my time. Done like she. Right. That's cool.
I'd say that jokingly, but it's to emphasize what's important.
Yeah.
Repetition brings remembrance.
Repetition. That's right. I repeat a lot of things. That and some of you don't have good memories anymore. But anyway. All right. Let me challenge you with another question.
What did you just say?
All right. Let me challenge you with another question. Or when you look at stuff, you're in the middle of a big decision. Wherever that is, big decision. We usually say, well, what's best for me? I mean, we may not say anything, but that's really what's best for me. Why did we get to such a point that we could say, what's best for the kingdom? Because what's best for me may not be what's best for the kingdom. What's best for the kingdom, and I think Billy said it last week, joy, J-O-Y, Jesus, others, and then yourself. What if we brought that factor into, I got a major decision to make, whatever it may be, maybe retirement, or whatever it may be. What's best for the kingdom? And we could lay our selfishness aside and look and see what the Lord wants. For Christ and for others and then ourselves. Well, Paul certainly did this. Now, this is going to be challenging. And I am not at where Paul was at, I promise you. But look what he did this in, he mentions in Romans 9. I am a follower of Christ. Yes. And the Holy Spirit is a witness to my conscience. So I tell you the truth, I am not lying when I say my heart is broken. I am in great sorrow. Well, why is he in such great sorrow? Verse 3, I would gladly be placed under God's curse and be separated from Christ for the good among all people. Why does he say it?
He's seen all of his brethren that are not saved and not believing.
And if he could swap it out, let me quote John MacArthur, because he's a higher authority. Paul is using language that means to devote to destruction and eternal hell. And Paul is saying, if my countrymen could be saved, if it means me going to hell, for them I will live. I love you. And I can pray that prayer. That is amazing.
That's what Jesus did.
That's what Jesus did. Now, so let's go. Let's don't try to. That's a standardist way of. It's just weak. It's just. Let's don't do that. But the question I wrote down is, what are we willing to sacrifice for someone who has an opportunity to follow Christ? And I'm going to change that question to this. When we don't share Christ with someone we really care about, why don't we share Christ? Let's get uncomfortable for a minute. Why don't we?
Rejection.
We're afraid we're going to be rejected, right? What else?
Do we really love them?
Do what?
Do we really love them?
Do we really love them? Good question. What else? Why don't we share Christ with people we pray? God, I pray they'll come to Jesus. I pray you'll do whatever it takes to bring them into it. But we never bring ourselves to sitting down with them and explaining really what the gospel is. Why don't we do that?
Inadequacy.
Lack of confidence.
I tell the youth a lot over the last year. I quote a lot of movies, and one of my favorite lines is out of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It comes from his uncle. It says, "With great power comes great responsibility." And the point you just made is what I share with them. You have the ability, because we have Christ within us, to change a life for eternity. That's a huge responsibility. So who do you hate so bad that you won't share that with?
Yeah. I'm going to give my good quote in a minute. You've read this quote.
Lack of faith.
Lack of faith. You just don't take the time. If Paul is willing to sacrifice his eternity, am I willing to sacrifice my uncomfortableness or some time or maybe my pride? I mean, I'm not asking him I'm willing to sacrifice my eternity, just a little bit of uncomfortableness. And we allow that battle to win too many times. Now, I'll give you a quote. I know David is reading this book called The Insanity of God. Anyone else read it or reading it? Okay. Do what?
I watched the movie.
You watched it? I haven't seen the movie. I'm reading the book.
What's it called?
The Insanity of God. Chad has mentioned it and quoted something from it several times. He says it's the only book he reads over periodically. Let me just tell you, it's not an easy read. It is not an easy read. It is just.
Don't you remember years back, Kim was here?
I knew I recognized the name, but I
Pastor
couldn't.
Jake brought him, and we were able to meet with
Okay.
him and his wife.
Okay.
And meet.
I don't. I knew I knew the name, but I couldn't remember that.
Yeah.
But this book, I'm going to tell you, it's just, matter of fact, I told Chad that I was reading it, and he came up to me the other day. He said, "You done with it yet?" I said, "Nope." He goes, "Hang in there. It gets better at the end." But it's a tough read. Why is it a tough read? It has a lot to do with persecution. It's tough. And it's challenging, okay? Have you finished it?
Yes.
Okay. Do I need to keep reading?
Yes.
Okay, I gotta get there. But here's a quote. The insanity of God. Listen to this. I don't think I need to set the scene. It's pretty obvious. Why can't we Muslims know that our loved ones are in paradise when they die? A Muslim was asking him this question. Why is it that only those followers of Jesus know exactly where they're going after death? We bury our people, we weep, we walk away, and we do not know where our loved ones are. Why? Why have Jesus' followers kept these things from us? That's an out. That's a big one.
You know, Jack, I think a lot of it is so wrapped up in our own stuff.
Oh, yeah. Whatever, yeah. We're busy about our world and what we're doing and what we got going on.
It's our comfort zone.
It's our comfort zone. But man, I read that.
And personally, that's what makes that book so hard, because it challenges you
why am I not doing more?
I know. Why have Jesus' followers kept these things from us? I don't know how it's going to be in heaven. You know, we're not going to chase this rabbit, but I don't know, because he says he wipes away every tear. That can be interpreted in lots of different ways. But one way is when we see ones that we ensure Christ with casts out. And we say, why did I not take the time? Why would I not overcome my uncomfortableness to share with them the most important thing by far? And we choose not to do that. Yes, sure.
You know, I have witnessed to some people that they just went cold stone over nothing, and they told some other members of the family that they don't want me to talk about that, and they kind of hold you back when you're trying to talk to someone else.
Sure.
But, when you get that seed, when you get that person that is open, you can feel that, that's planting that seed.
Yep.
And it all evens out. You're not afraid anymore.
Yeah. So, you're right. It's not our job to win people to Jesus. No one comes to Jesus unless the Father draws. But oftentimes the Lord wants us involved with that. Okay? Don't know why, don't get it all. Most important by far issue, and the Lord trusts us with it in a big part of it. Not all of it, but a big part of it. So just keep that in mind. Okay? Just keep it in mind. Now, let's hit on a positive note. Okay? I want to walk out here and go, oh, I'm a horrible person. No, it's from this point on, let's live for Christ. From this point on. But we're going to go back to that Philippians 1:23 where it says, I long to be with, I long to be with Christ. No. I'm torn between the two. I desire to, and in your mind, circle the word depart and be with Christ, which is far better. This is cool. And we'll finish it up here. That word depart, the way it was originally used, was used by several different groups to mean what it would apply to their situation. So, for instance, to a soldier, it means to take down your tent and move on. This is for us. The tent for Paul would often call something a tent. What was he talking about? Our bodies. We call them the earth suits. Okay, whatever. And so this word was often said, take down the tent. For soldiers, take down the tent and let's move on. And that's what's going to happen one day for us as believers. For sailors, it means loosen the ship and let it sail. One day, as believers, we will. For a prisoner, or set the prisoner free, it was used for that. And for a farmer, this is really cool. It means to unyoke the oxen. In other words, take that big old thing off the oxen and allow it to be free from the burden of it anymore. When we depart, either physically or through the rapture, I don't know which one you like better, but that's what we need to envision. Take down the tent. We're moving on. Let the oxen go. Take now all that burden off them and let them go. That's our future as believers. Is that awesome?
Yes. It'd be great if we could do that now because we have everything we need within us already.
We do. And we can live more like that. And so let's summarize and simplify. How do we live more like that now based on what we just talked about? Surrender. Keep your eyes on Christ. When he says we're one with him, you focus on that. He's a reason for living. He's the reason we do the things that we do. We rest in him, and we can experience, to a certain degree, what we just looked at. That's the abundant life that he wants us to enjoy now. Doesn't mean we don't have problems, but we can enjoy it now. Yes, sir, George.
Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. Because of the great cloud of witnesses we have, let us lay aside everything that holds us back and run with endurance the race that God has set before us.
That's it.
With our eyes fixed on Jesus, because He's the founder and the perfecter.
What a great way to end our discussion. Exactly right. Good job. So, all right, next week, verse 27. Chapter 1. All right, about quality, not quantity. Okay, everybody good? Okay. Any last questions about the lunch?
Be there.
Be there. I forgot. I didn't bring anything. I'm a visitor. We always have more food. We take stuff home. Please come. And it skips it earlier. This is, hang out with your buds in here, but make an effort to go and say, no, I've seen you in class. What's your name again? Okay. If you said it to me, I'd be highly offended. Okay. But just talk to people you never met before. I'm gonna tell you these dinner groups that Janet that runs for us. I don't know how many stories I've heard from you guys that say, I think I met my new best friend. We were there for 3 hours in a restaurant. We didn't realize, I can't remember what the story was. Someone said the other day that how much common things they had with each other coping, they had no idea. I mean, things in the past. Who was it? Somebody knew me. It was amazing. It's just, so you know what? We're going to be one big dinner group, and we're going to be out there today. All right? We good? All right, let's pray. Lord, may you give us the same mindset that you gave Paul. Help us to set our minds on things that are above, but allow that thought to be on Christ and be with Him, and He's on the throne, and we get to enjoy you for all eternity. That helps us get through these circumstances today, which are so temporary and so short compared to all eternity we've got to look forward to. We can enjoy that, much of that now, and we don't have to wait until we get to heaven. I'm going to ask for the blessing on the food. Go ahead, and I just pray you'll bless the food, but more importantly, will you bless the fellowship and the time together. In Christ's name. Amen.